So they just assumed back then it was going to be like a really quick process, like a little master's course or something, but it turned out to be an entire field.
Let's talk just a little bit more about computer vision. So do you mind for anyone watching, just defining what computer vision is as a field, and then talking a little bit about what that means in the scope of your current work?
Okay, so computer vision is a field concerned with basically providing systems with the ability to see, just like humans do. That's the most simplest way I can put it. So you have your visual sensory system, and we're able to just sort of like take in all the light, reflection of light, and actually our brain can make sense of it. We're able to identify objects or the texture of objects. So computer vision is concerned with basically taking the intuition or that sort of like functionality and replicating it within computer systems, right? And there's the whole story where computer vision was essentially given to like a student, like a research student back in the either maybe 70s as like a summer task to sort of like solve, to put cameras in a robot eyes to basically allow it to understand what it sees. So they just assumed back then it was going to be like a really quick process, like a little master's course or something, but it turned out to be an entire field. Again, I don't know how true the story is, but you can read it in several different places. But the field itself is grown from like the 70s. It's grown from using sort of handwritten algorithms to detect features, where you basically start with edge detection. So I don't want to get too technical here, but edge detection, one way computer vision works is basically, or one way you can give and make a system understand what it sees is through understanding the structural components that make up an object. And really how you can get the structural components is basically by identifying the edges of the object. So edge detection was one of the early techniques to sort of pull out features from image, and that allows you to then basically create maybe heuristic-based algorithms to basically identify like a box or a shape of a human, right from the edges. And edges are just simply, the way you identify edges is just you look at the difference between, you look at the pixel differences, and edges just have high intensity pixel difference, and that's how you detect edges. So back in the 70s, 80s, there were a lot of handwritten, hand-coded, engineered features algorithms. But then with the 80s and 90s, we have the introduction of deep learning. We have the introduction of neural networks. They have the introduction of deep learning. So currently, when we say computer vision, we automatically think deep learning, because deep learning is just an approach to solving solving computer vision. It's the dominant approach, is what works. I don't think they taught us of there is any other dominant approach that sort of works the way deep learning does. But yeah, deep learning is an approach to solving computer vision tasks.
Sure.
So I could elaborate more on that in terms of what deep learning is, or in terms of what a computer vision task is. So to give an example of a computer vision task is in face detection, object detection, pose estimation, and how all this actually ties into my work as a computer vision engineer is I basically leverage all deep learning modules that are built, and I basically embed them, integrate them within mobile devices. So I use libraries such as TensorFlow Lite, Core ML, and just basically, which provides me with all the tools that I'm needed to basically extract sort of like some sort of scenic understanding from all this deep learning models, and then convert that into some numerical representation that I could then send over to the game developers, and they could then move on to create special effects. So just to put into more practical scenario is, for example, pose estimation. So I leverage a simple pose estimation model and I integrate it into a mobile app. Then I'm able to get the coordinates and of where the joints are located, and I just give that information to the game developers, and they could do pretty cool stuff with it. You could do object tracking with it. You could do face mask and loads of different stuff with it. So really, computer vision is more of it's sort of like an enabling role, my role sort of enables other sort of people within my team to achieve different things. As you just think about anything game related, camera related, or camera games.